Today we anodize. So this is the first one I did. Turned out all right. The process is I sanded it, sprayed it with brake cleans, get off all the grease, soak it in lye for a couple minutes, rinse it in water, and then set it up. This is a solution of, it's battery acid, hydrochloric acid, I believe. Sulfuric acid, that's what it is. These are little titanium wires that are holding the parts in there. I've got them through the holes, or just suspended through the holes. This is a ground rod that I've got set up in there. Negative goes to the ground rod, positive goes to the parts. Then I've got a little power supply here. With this part is actually about 12 square inches. 4 inches long, an inch wide, so there's 8 inches there. And then another 2 on that side and 2 on that side. So you're about 12 square inches. So you've got about 36 square inches in the acid bath being anodized. And for every square inch, it's supposed to be 0.02 of an amp. So I've got this at about 0.8 amps going through the system, anodizing the parts. After that, rinse it in baking soda. After that, rinse it in water. Then I'll dunk it into the dye for 15 minutes or so. And then 15 minutes, I'll see how long I'm going to do that. And then just put it in boiling water for about 10 minutes. And that seals the surface. So we're just anodizing right now. It's been in there for about 10 minutes. We're going to keep it in there about 45 minutes, and then we'll see how it takes the dye. So that was the original one I did, and then I put this one on too high an amperage. And if the amperage is too high, the color doesn't take as well. So with these ones, I lowered the amperage, and you can see that this one really took the color well. So I turned off the power, took one out, dipped it in baking soda and water. That neutralizes the acid. Dunked it in the water, whatever you call that, distilled water. And then put it into the dye for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then put it in boiling water for about 10 minutes. And that is the result. Turned out pretty darn good. There's a little blemish right there. But other than that, looks pretty good. A little bit of a blemish right there. That looks good. So I'm just ready to take this one out of the boiling water. Been in there for about 10 minutes, and that one looks good as well. Yeah, excellent. Now I'll move this one that was in the dye to the water. And that should be just about boiling anyways. So yeah, let's take a look at that one. That one looks like it took the color a little bit more. I might have had that one in the... There we go. So yeah, I think this one stayed in a little bit longer. Maybe it was a little bit hotter in the dye because it's just a little darker in color. But it looks even better. So, what I'll do from now on, this is all just proof of concept, I'm just playing. When I get serious about doing all this anodizing, I'll measure the specific times that it was in. I know this one was the anodizing part. I had higher amperage here, which makes it harder, which makes the dye not want to soak in as much. All these three, the next one's still in the boiling water right now, were anodized at a lower amperage, 0.02 per square inch, so I had it at, I can't remember what it is, 0.8 for an hour. Then they went into the dye, and I wasn't timing exactly with the dye, so that's probably the difference in color there. This one might have been in a little bit more. I tried to keep it at the same temperature. I just use this thermometer and keep it at about 130, which is in the top of my thing there. So it might have been in a little bit longer or a little bit hotter. But no, that looks good. When I do it professionally, then I'll keep track and I'll start a spreadsheet on how long each one should be in each of the different pools. But as proof of concept, yeah. This video out, didn't do really anything today. Got everything cleaned up. Put on the door jamb on the other side. I guess that's what you would call it, the door jamb. Did a little bit of work to smooth out that top corner. Got the center line in place so I can see where everything's going to line up. Got the plans cleaned off. Just looking at putting in the aileron hold down tube, I guess you would call it. I don't know, I'm not going to mount these on until I get everything in place because I'm not sure how all this works. So you remember I got these done. I've got to get a couple of rivets so I can mount those. Then I will get the rest of the stick in place, and then I can figure out where that aileron tube is going to sit. I'm going to also get the rudders, I haven't even thought about them yet, get those in place and figure out where the rudder cables will run. In the meantime, before that, I'm going to take the fuselage. I did weigh it today. It weighs 58 pounds. Put it back onto the plans and get that blocking done underneath the front floor here for the stick, for the rudder pedals. Finish off all the little ones for the engine mount here as well. I've got the top one done there for the engine mount. The engine mount screw will just be coming through this piece here. And that's where the mount will go through there, and you've got that 1/4 inch on there. It's going to be the same on the bottom. It'll come through down here somewhere. I've got to figure that one out. Eric's got a good video on how he did his. But yeah, coming along slowly. My mechanic, one of them quit at work, so I've actually had to work the last month until I get another one. So I haven't had time to do much on the plane. But slowly coming along every day, just come and see how it's doing. All right.